Hello and welcome to BonkTable. I'm Mass, another Starcraft podcast. I'm joined today with Apex Chinchilla,
Hello.
Competent Conquest Ben, or were you Competent Starcraft now? What are you?
I go by Competent Ben right now, but
Competent
the channel
Ben!
is still Competent Conquest.
He'll change his name when he changes his life. Anyway. And lastly, but not least, our special guest for today, Zesty Jesty. How are you?
Hey everybody, I'm doing all right.
Cool. So if you're wondering why Zesty, Sexy Jesty is here, is because this fine gentleman hosted a big TTS tournament, and we're going to grill him for questions and stats and a bunch of other stuff that happened to understand how StarCraft, the TMG, the miniatures games, works in a more tournament setting and how it kind of played out. I know, Jesty, you were stalking every single game majority of them by like sitting in the lobbies and kind of listening to them while you worked. So you do have great insight to how this actually went.
Yeah, I was able to listen to quite a few games, maybe not necessarily watch every single move, but I kind of got the feel of how the games played out for the most part. At least a lot of them that I was able to catch.
Nice. So, gentlemen, I'm just going to start grilling Zesty Jesty. If you guys want to come in here and grill him as well, because, you know, we're all friends, and what you do to your friends is you just be mean dicks to them. What is a true sign of friendship? So, Zesty, first question, how many people participated?
We ended up getting 22. We had 21 originally sign up before the deadline, and that meant I would have to play as ringer. And I had one late person like, ooh, me. And I was like, oh, you're lucky. I don't want to play in my own tournament, so you can have my spot.
Nice.
And what was your faction breakdown?
We ended up with, I want to say, 4 Terran players. We had 22 total, so 4 Terran, and let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Zerg, and then the rest were all Protoss.
Okay, now I gotta pull up the calculator because I'm not gonna do that math in my head.
So how many players?
22.
So half of the field was Protoss. So it was 11 combined Zerg and Terran and 11 Protoss.
Yep.
And I'm hearing that
Exactly.
Protoss is weak. I'm like, they seem to be doing very well for themselves.
I don't know where you're hearing that. Like,
You know
Yeah.
what? I was reading something on the internet probably around the time of this tournament happening, like just before it. It's like, Protoss needs this and that. I'm like, they're kind of fine. I feel like they're very like, you got a ton of tools. You have lots of skill expression in Protoss. So as you play more games, the skill expression goes up. I do agree there are weaknesses, but it kind of comes to like a model bleed weakness I've been finding with Protoss, or playing into Protoss a lot. That once you kill the first guy and get through the shields, you can kind of like deal with the rest of the unit. If you don't, though, good luck. You're just getting the shit kicked out of you.
well, I mean, that's kind of their strength, actually, is that first guy is a tanky boy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you don't break through him, good luck. You're getting the shit kicked out of you by an angry zealot.
Yep.
Yeah, it's essentially double damage in order to lose effectiveness on a unit compared to any of the other races' units.
And as we found out, Zerglings are just the model bleed unit. It's like, I got you with 1 damage. No, my attacks. No, my impacts. Please, sir.
Yeah, Zerglings are in an odd spot. Right now, they do a lot of damage, and if you don't get a good shot on them before they close the gap, they're gonna hurt. But in the coming waves, like I know wave 2, there's gonna be blast templates. We all know those are coming eventually, and I fear for the life of all the Zerglings once those come out.
Dude, I'm excited for the siege tank. I'm probably gonna buy 2. I'm probably not gonna buy any more. It's because I feel like it's just gonna sit in the back and go like bam, 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 bam. But it's like, and also,
yeah, it's one of those things that like it might see a lot of play. I'm in the same boat with Immortals. Like, I'm probably gonna buy 2, but even though I might want to run 3, I have to assume that once more stuff comes out, that 3rd Immortal is gonna be useless, right? Like, it can't. If it stays good for too long, it'll get nerfed, and then I still won't want to own 3.
Well, the thing is, it's
Exactly.
like you just have friends who lend you a 3rd Immortal when you need one.
Right.
So just win events so that you have like store credit and get your 3rd set of Immortals that way.
Well, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
give stuff that people don't have to the weaker players to make them stronger, so you have more of a challenge.
But
Yeah, as a Zerg
Oh,
player,
is
I'm
it-
gonna buy one of each anyway, just for demo purposes.
is it one immortal per box? Because it's one siege tank and two ravagers.
Yeah, two
so
Ravagers.
Yeah.
Do we
One
actually have,
immortal, one siege tank, 2 ravagers.
do we
Okay.
actually have box confirmation? Like what's in each box?
They
I think
said
they
it on
talked
their.
about it.
They talked about it on the
Oh,
stream.
Okay.
Yeah, Jarrett confirmed on stream that was the plan, and I think he said the price of the Ravagers was going to come down a bit too.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Like
Yeah, I think
cost
Immortal
wise,
is actually
right?
the cheapest box, but I think it was like Immortal at like I want to say Immortal was 80, Ravagers were like 85, but I think you like you said, I think Ravagers were coming down.
Yeah,
Interesting.
And then like Siege Tank was the most expensive, but it does come with 2 build modes and stuff like that. So
you
definitely
can only build
excited.
you can only build it in one of the 2 modes, though. That's the problem.
But it comes with a mini siege tank. Couldn't you just put your mini siege tank token on the right size base?
Oh my god, that'd be
I
so
mean-
great.
There was a Minnesota War Machine player that picked up a bunch of like the little mini juggernauts that were on like the one Thagrush the Painter special model, and that's what he ran for his juggernaut spam list. He had like 6 or 7 of them.
I
It's
think
fantastic.
That's actually hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
so good. I know there was the Karchev ejection seat where someone had like parts of another Karchev, but only like his chest and his head, and so like turned him into like a tiny mini Jack and had him running around.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Nice.
No, you need the mini siege tank token on the full siege tank. Isn't the siege tank on like 150 millimeter base or some nonsense
Yes.
like that?
It's
It's
very large.
150.
So
What was
fucking huge.
What was a War Machine Colossus? Was it 100?
120.
This thing's bigger than a
Which is
fucking
the
War Machine
Immortal.
Colossus.
Yeah,
Holy
so
crap.
Immortals are going to be, I believe Immortals on the 120. So they should be, for War Machine players out there, they should be about the same size
This is bullshit. I just
as,
sold all
as
my
a Colossus.
War Machine stuff. I could have used those bases as proxies.
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure
I'm
I have
hoping
a bunch
rules
of them.
come out soon, and I will definitely proxy with my storm walls until Immortals come out.
I'm already.
You need to proxy with the Retribution Tridents because they're just tanks already. It's perfect.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm-
have those though.
I'm already
I
going to
have
proxy a Goliath with a 40 millimeter or model scale Mad Cat that I got with the Kickstarter. That's literally
Love
been
it.
collecting dust for 3 years. It's like somebody posted a picture. It's almost the exact same size as a Goliath.
So do we know how big a Ravager is? Did they talk about that? I'm out of the loop on everything. So
Yeah,
I
you got a new job and
believe-
started gardening.
well, no, I
think
kept
they
my
said it
old
was the
job,
same
actually.
size as the Queen. I'm not 100% sure. So I think
Oh,
it
so
was
it's
80.
little. Yeah.
The Queen's 80. I mean, Queen's not
Yeah.
little. I mean, it's a big
Well,
model.
comparatively, that's half a siege tank.
Yeah, true.
Like 80 is a normal size model, and then the siege tank's over here on 150. The thing is, if a siege tank is 150, what's an Ultralisk going to be on?
200.
Yeah.
250.
What if it was like really tall but really skinny as the Ultra, so it still does a 150? It like fits
I mean,
on there.
that'd be fine. They don't have to be. Like, I personally do not care if they're like close to the scale they are in game. I know that's a big thing for people more invested into the lore than I, but like playability for me is first. So
I know that there's been some talk about on the AMAs about how if they go into the big stuff, which is probably years down the line, but if they go into the big stuff, they're gonna probably have to adjust scale on some of it, which is why they're like on the fence about even doing it, but at the same time it's cool. So
Yeah, like they can't make a battle cruiser or carrier mini, quote unquote, because it'll be bigger than the size of the building you're playing in if it's to
Right.
scale.
oh, well, so at one point in time for like cruisers at least, they talked about how that would be a card.
yeah, a carrier would also have to be a card.
Yeah. I mean, we have the dropship card already, so.
Yep.
Yes.
I think a lot of
And-
like that bigger stuff will become cards. It will be cool to see the Colossus, the Ultralisk, and like the Thor being like the big centerpiece models for the game, and I think that's probably where you stop it. And like, yeah, the Battle Cruiser, all all that other stuff being cards. Like, you might have just like a cruiser swarm, like all the little fighters from the cruiser as the model, and then the card cruiser that does something.
I mean, it's interesting because Jarek has mentioned that they don't want models being over 20% of your total points. So how much do you cost an Ultralisk or a Thor or a Colossus? Something that's taking up a quarter of the board by itself.
300 to 350.
Yeah, I think full stack Marauders are like 10.
I mean, you can also tie some of it to upgrades, so you could get it to 4 or 450 with a bunch of upgrades, but leave it at the 3 to 350 base.
Fully upgraded Hydras are 400 as is.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so probably what you do is you actually have fewer upgrades on it, and you make people pay more. If you have to buy the whole thing, then it feels more expensive because there isn't a cheaper version. Well, not actually, being a higher point total.
Yeah. I actually wonder if we won't see the huge stuff next year already, to be honest.
I'd be surprised.
The only reason I say that is because at one point in time, they had shown a list of this is what we're looking at for the sub-faction idea, and they had the unique Ultralisk on there already.
Yeah, they did. They had the Tarask on there.
Yeah, but you could use an Ultras model for the Tarask.
That's what I mean. You're already in the planning phase of where this slots into your releases. You're probably doing that for say 2 years out. So it's possible we see big models toward the end of next year.
Yeah,
I'd be happy.
Potentially, because right now they're going up to we know Wave 4 is going to be. The only thing I remember from Wave 4 is it's December, Minx and Firebat. I don't remember what Zerg and
Zerg was the infested tank.
It was going to be Stukov and infested Marines.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess I'm buying Zerg.
I know, it'd be nice to have Marines as a Zerg player.
Yes, I know, because you get shot. Oh. All right.
But yes, back to the tournament that we just sidetracked.
Oh yeah, the tournament. That's right.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. So half of the people played Protoss, but Protoss is somehow weak according to the internet. So normal internet things.
Yeah.
There are some problems with Protoss, but I don't think. But yeah, realistically, anybody who's talking about pure power scaling, that is not a problem Protoss has. Protoss is a little bit. I mean, I guess they're a little bit overpowered, and that is a problem. But no, if people are complaining that they feel like the faction is weak, that's kind of on them.
Yeah, there was a lot of complaints when the Stalker went up in price. People are like, "Oh, Stalkers are unplayable now." It's I don't think so.
The solo Stalker is in a rough spot. I think the double needed to go up to 10 points, but the solo didn't because people were kind of already not running the solo, and now it's really hard to justify it. It costs the same. I just can't imagine taking it over Adepts right now after the cost increase. So that's kind of rough. Now, to be fair, Adepts should probably go up, and then it would probably be more reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one guy, Roran, ran 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This dude just ran 4 stalkers, 4 individual stalkers.
Yeah, he didn't actually. That was not the list he played. He played 6 adepts instead of that list.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know that until moments before our game. So I had already picked my list, and then he told me that he had this 6 adept list. And I'm like, I probably should have played my soccer list, but I already had everything loaded in on TTS and everything. So, we
should probably get into the actual building for the tournament before we get too far.
Yeah,
that was what I was about to ask. So how did you manage the list setup for your tournament, Jesty?
So Jarek has mentioned that they kind of want the Fog of War thing to exist, and it's kind of hard to do that in a tournament setting because you need to have verification that what your opponent is using is what they signed up with, and they're not adding extra units or upgrades that they didn't pay for, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So I went with the 2-list format because that's what they ran in the closed beta, supposedly. And I didn't want people...
published the results from it.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if it was public knowledge or not, but I was able to look at the results and some of the winning lists and all that previously. And I wasn't sure how to go about it. I have experience running BattleTech events in person and online. And there's a popular format that's BattleTech Alpha Strike where you kind of have you have 250 points that you bring onto the table, but you have a total of 350 points. So you kind of have a 100 points sideboard. So I was going to kind of try to emulate that by making you bring 2 different lists with at least 500 minerals worth of difference. So that's straight up just changing an upgrade, swapping out the hero for a different unit, whatever it takes. Just there has to be 500 minerals that are not the same between one list and the other. It's a lot harder to do that if you're not a Zerg player, at least in the current state of the game, because the number of units that Protoss and Terran both have access to is like 6 or 7 different units they each have right now.
I think Protoss is the lowest at 7, and Terran might have 9.
Yeah, there were also a couple things that were weird about it. So it was 500 points different, but when we talked about it, like some people interpreted that as no more than 1,500 points could be shared, and other people, like, I just straight up asked you, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's only, it's 17, no more than 1,750 can be in the same list.
Essentially, yeah, because the way you could change it with upgrades. Okay, well, this Zealot has legs, this one doesn't. Like, okay, well, that's not a 20-point difference, that's a 180-point difference right there.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even see it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that. Like, so like a 6-man Marine, a list with 2 6-man Marines, and a list with like 4. If you had 4 Marine squads, but one list was like I have 2 6s, and the other list is I have 4 9s, then you're getting that's a massive difference in points too.
Oh, absolutely. That's a completely different list. I mean, a 6-man and a 9-man play very differently.
Yeah. So we tried to do the Fog of War. I actually specifically wrote my lists to have the same like turn 1, to try to do some Fog of War, and I abandoned it on turn 2 of the first game because it felt pointless.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna try to put that in a tournament document, but I don't see it. Like,
yeah, I'd like to see them try, because I was like, look, I don't agree with this personally. I don't think this is a good idea, but I want to try and emulate it. So we're going to try it out. And I gave the option in there in the packet that if you don't want to deal with the Fog of War, you can just reveal your list to each other and not deal with it.
Yeah, and that is what everyone did. Like,
pretty much. I think maybe one game was played where the lists were hidden. And even then, it was like, oh, by turn 2, I already know which list he's using because he didn't bring, 4 of whatever this other thing is. Or you just look at the cards and like, oh, this card is different than the other one, so I already know what list you're playing.
Yeah, that was the biggest. That's the biggest one, right? Like, that's gonna immediately kill that whole concept. I could see a sideboard, like where you have to bring one list, and then, or like 2 variations of the same list. So you have to bring the same cards, and you have to bring the same slots, and then there is a sideboard. I could see that kind of being a Fog of War thing. So you have 2 lists, but they have to be the same faction and the same cards. But like, that's not how this game is built, right? Like, I don't think.
Maybe 5 years from now you could do that, but with the current unit pool, it's like, okay, you know what they're bringing. Yeah. I mean, even into wave 2 and probably wave 3 and 4, there's not going to be that much variety to where you can't look at the cards and just assume what they're bringing.
Right. No, like the list requirement for the tournament would have to be you bring a faction and its cards, and then you write 2 lists of model, like 2 like sets of your mineral spending only. So the only difference that is that's allowed is mineral spending, and then you could play that with Fog of War, and that would have to be the setup for the event. And that sounds awful. Like I don't.
So do we think Fog of War even adds anything, like versus just playing a 2-list event? Like, here are my lists. Let me see your lists. We'll pick lists. There we go. Like
in a tournament format, absolutely not. In a narrative / campaign format, by all means, do it.
Yeah, when you're doing narrative campaign, by all means, like you don't really have to worry about like time either. I think that's a thing people forget about, like trying to run tournaments, especially in-person events versus online ones, is like they have to move snappy. Because everybody's been to that tournament in person where everything's been like half an hour behind and the tournament is awful.
Yeah, so the only
isn't that every tournament?
No,
a lot
no,
of them,
it is not.
But it is not all of them.
Yeah.
I do think the Fog of War could be functional if you looked at it more like Magic, where it's a 1-list format and that list is hidden until after the game, but then those results get published.
Also my models are physically there. Like you're
that's the hard
gonna
part.
see what's on
right
tray. Like Lord knows I'm putting things on a tray and then they're there. Like I suppose
30 Marines on the table. I don't know. I wonder if he's playing Marines.
I suppose I could put a dummy thing or 2 in there, but
Well, yeah, and the rules specifically call out that you have to like denote your upgrades, right? It's not like we can be sitting here pretending we don't have upgrades.
Yeah, it's not WYSIWYG either, as far as we know currently, because they kind of don't want to force people into buying multiples of the same.
Yeah,
I'm not buying 7 boxes of Zerglings. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right?
It's not happening.
The rulebook specifically says this game is not a WYSIWYG game. You just have to like make sure you're clear with your opponent about what is what. And
I've never heard anyone pronounce that before, and now WYSIWYG's gonna be stuck in my head. No, I've never had it come up in real life. So it's WYSIWYG.
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna hear it.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll dig it.
Have you heard whack for when it all costs?
I don't know that I've ever heard that one like pronounced in real life before either. Be honest.
Yeah, you'll read it.
We usually just call those tryhards or sweat lords or something like that.
I'll be honest though, I really never got into like GW games like tournament style.
But I've never played 40K. I've only played BattleTech.
Yeah. So, but
I've played a lot of things. And I've played all the big ones.
Vince played everything.
I mean, I've played a lot of things too, just not on the table.
He's out there crushing people in Turnip or whatever that one is.
What?
Isn't that a game?
No, I don't know.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Turnip.
One thing to note is
Turnip 28, man. I don't know. I've never played it.
I've never heard of it.
One thing I want to add in here is that due to the nature of the draft system and the fact that I didn't want to have players placing terrain, because that's a whole nother headache that Archon's kind of pushing for that I don't agree with, I removed Proving Grounds as a deployment choice. Just strictly because it's such a pain in the ass to design maps around that layout of objectives compared to all of the other ones that we have available currently. And there's going to be more deployments coming out in the future. So I've got a feeling we may end up having to use player place terrain as a necessary evil just to accommodate all of the stupid deployments that are not going to be standard.
My thoughts on that are, what if you kind of had most of the terrain set and you just kind of shuffle it around a little bit for deployments if you need to, but then players place like a few grass each, because then it's up to them to like block off sight lines or figure out where they want things.
Oh, speaking of grass, the maps that we used had a bunch of grass on them, and to emulate the player place terrain, I allowed the players to remove 2 tufts of grass each, taking turns 1 and 1.
Yeah.
So how many players actually did that? I don't know, but it was in the packet, and I reminded them a bunch of times throughout the event. So that's on them if they didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think only the first map was one where that felt relevant. Like the other maps, I mean, and not, I guess, relevance incorrect, but the other maps all felt fine to do that with. Like only the first map that we played on felt like it had so much grass that I would really feel a need to remove some. After that, rounds 2 through 4, like whatever.
Yeah, but it's just a little more agency over how you want the map to be shaped.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't do it, or that they shouldn't have done it. But
Oh no, I know. I'm just
like,
saying.
as a player in that situation, I could absolutely see just being like, whatever, this is good enough. Like, I'd rather like save my 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, just going forward, the deployments and terrain placement is going to be a pain in the ass. There's a popular BattleTech format that uses player place terrain, and it's like a whole 10-minute mini game process, and you can lose in the terrain placement if you don't know what
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing and you don't give yourself cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like having your first turn for your onboarding and not jamming yourself up. Like, terrain's important, understanding of the table is important.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
think
a skill. You should probably
it
learn
is.
that.
I choose not to learn any skills.
This man is lying.
This man is lying.
Yeah, it's just another level.
I don't know how I would be able to lie. I feel like lying is also a skill.
It is.
This man is still lying. Doesn't change that fact.
Yeah, I just feel like it's another level of burden of knowledge, and the game's not that bad, but it's something that if you're not used to player place terrain, can definitely throw a monkey wrench into your plans when you see someone building a bunker for their artillery unit and you have no access to it.
Yeah, the important thing that I think is often overlooked is people are always like, "Oh, it's not that bad." It's like, but what is it adding? Right? Like,
The value
Sure.
proposition of this extra stuff is always something that should be a design and developer question.
Right, like-
you made this choice. What does it do for me, the player?
right. And in a tournament, like, I mean, using the example of that tournament that I basically just touched on, do we want to spend 5 minutes like hemming and hawing over which grass to remove, or do we just leave all of it and get to playing? Right?
Done there,
Like,
clock.
Yeah.
you know, there's
Clock it.
literal
Clock.
like, are those 5 minutes of my life like more valuable?
Like, I'm a huge fan of clocks for players. Like, I think chess clock is a great thing in tournaments and events, and I'm sure there is some way to get that on the clock.
We also know that you're a 1 hour
Oh,
player,
sure.
and after that, you're kind of like,
Yes.
I'm done.
Well, I mean, no, just in general, like it keeps the game pacey, like because not everybody plays fast in general, and I've spoken to people who don't play fast as a general statement, and a lot of them actually like clock because it reminds them to keep themselves in gear.
So like devil's advocate here. I know there are some players who don't like clock because they like
Oh, absolutely.
they feel rushed. They're like, oh, I can't make a decision. I can't make the most tactical thing. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. It's to make you do something because you know
Right.
if you don't, you're gonna lose on clock.
Yeah, I was going to
but
say,
it's-
whether or not you see the clock physically, it is still there in a tournament environment.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like one of the things I like about clock, especially in tournaments, is that it's conscientious of your opponent's time and not just yours. Because like I have played the 4 hour Haley 2, and I played 1 hour of it and still won. And then we re-racked and did it again, and I was like, okay, we're gonna get this down to 2 hours, dude.
And like, you know, when I say clocks, I don't mean that for like general casual games at all. I mean that specifically like this is a way to make sure tournaments run more smoothly and that people get less frustrated. So I think that's kind of important. Like, I'm not telling you how to play your game when you're just, you know, kicking it about with your friends. Just this is specifically like a way to keep tournaments, you know, moving along so you don't have a 4-round event take, you know, 14 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's more of a time and a place thing for me, because there are casual like store tournaments, right, which are still a tournament, but they're, who cares?
Yes.
Where I feel like clocks feel gatekeepy to a lot of people and turn people away and aren't helpful to building the community. So I don't want the company to be like, this is a chess clock game. But at a GT level event, like if at Adepticon, if somebody's like puts a chess clock in front of me, I'm gonna probably be happy about it, because it means I'm not gonna run into a slow play, intentional or otherwise, like game state.
Yeah. It eliminates that ambiguity for sure. Like, if my opponent's trying to slow play me to like eke out a win, well, no, you're just burning your time. I'm still half an hour up on the clock. And we have a 2-hour round. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always kind of liked about the idea of clocks. I have yet to play in an event that actually uses them, but there's some people that definitely need that fire under them to make decisions to prevent 3 to 4 hour games. On average, a BattleTech game of classic BattleTech is about 3 hours.
Damn.
But that's if you're taking your time and thinking about your moves and rolling the dice and all that other nonsense, checking hit locations, checking the charts. If you play fast, and I'm a fairly fast player, I usually have my move already planned out like 2 or 3 turns ahead. So when it's my turn, it's like, oh, okay, I go here, I go here, I go here, and keep that snappy pacing up. But if you don't have that tick for tat and you don't plan ahead, the game will drag out. So the clock is kind of a necessary evil, I think. I've been to events. The last major BattleTech event I went to was Alpha Strike, which should take significantly less time to play a game of Alpha Strike. And we got to turn 4 out of a max of 8 turns within the allotted time. And it was not great.
That is an oof. So to draw this back to your tournament, since you were able to sit in on a bunch of the games, how, just as an estimate, how long do you think the games were taking to play?
Surprisingly enough, because I wasn't using points scored as a metric, because everybody has different game or missions in their lists. It was as soon as someone knew that they weren't going to win, they would just concede. So the games actually ended fairly quick, significantly under the 3-hour mark. Some of them went to 2 hours, some of them went to 2.5, but the majority of them ended like right around 2-ish, 1.5-ish once it came to a conclusion.
The thing that I find very funny about this conversation, and I want to point this out for anybody who's listening, is that Mass and I play the slowest fucking games ever when I'm streaming or whatever, because we spend so much of our time BSing and not paying attention because we're there to have fun and play a game with our friend.
Oh my god!
Like,
your 4-hour-long YouTube videos, you mean?
Yeah. So we're so bad about it. Like,
well, because
neither one of us are like that in tournaments. Like, I played War Machine competitively, and so did Mass for many years. I never had a clock problem. Like, I was always up on clock.
I have clocked my opponents. I don't think I've ever. I might have lost on clock once. There was other issues with that game, but I think I might have only lost on clock once in my entire War Machine clear. And
I lost one game on clock in practice. Because I wasn't stopping the clock while my opponent rolled tough.
Yep.
For trolls, and then that never happened and then that didn't happen in a tournament. Like, and I picked up my clock and I hit it. It was at the time when we were just using timers where each person had their own instead of an actual chess clock. So I was holding it. I would roll my dice and then I would hit the button to wait for tough. Like,
I own, I think, 8 to 9 chess clocks because I ran all the events. They're great. One thing I forgot was clocks. Fuck, whatever. Doesn't matter now.
They're not just for chess anymore.
Yeah, for war games. No, that's what it was. So when I was the big fish at our store locally, and so to make it more even to players, I would play my locals and I'd be like, I'm on time, you're not on time. I'm just gonna play with the clock. You can clock me as another win condition. And so
Yeah.
they would play another game, and then sometimes I would like instead of like an hour, I would do like 55 minutes or like 50 minutes. Like I kind of drop it down like 5 or 10 minutes just to put that pressure on. But it ends up like making you a lot better player. I think I was talking with Carl. Just you might have seen Carl wander around in some of the discords or whatever. But I know at one point he didn't want to play me on TTS because I was so slow at TTS, and then we played in person. He was like, "Yeah, Mass is fine." Because I have no depth perception in TTS. I just don't know where things are.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. Is we both like spent. I'm a lot slower on TTS because I have the tool to pre-measure all the things, and because of like TTS is so precise, because it does give you that 0.1 inch or whatever. You sit there and you adjust the model like 12 times, whereas in real life, you and your opponent both hold up a tape measure to it, and you say in, out, cool, and move on.
Can I complain about a skill that I don't see in any other war game, but only in War Machine? When you take out a stick or a tape, and you hand it to your opponent, and like, hey, measure to that guy, and pull over, and then I get to my measurement, I'm like, am I over the base? Your opponent will like confirm with you like that. Like they're in it, they're ready to go. Every other war game I've had where I want to like do that check, I got to be like, hey, can you check? And they're like, ooh, and I'm like, god damn it, like this shouldn't be a hard thing to figure out, and it always annoys me.
I like the sound effect of the other player.
Well, yeah,
I've heard that sound in real life.
The
Yeah.
other player,
it was accurate. That's why
the other player sounds like, you know, those old infomercials where they've got a product that really doesn't do anything, but they've got these people like inventing a problem where they're like throwing hot soup all over themselves.
Do you know why those infomercials existed? By the way,
why?
To sell products.
So it was to sell a product, but it was because there's this weird thing I believe in like the advertisement laws where they couldn't directly sell it to people with disabilities who would use that product. Like that product's for a person with a disability, like a specific disability.
Well, yeah, like,
and they couldn't directly sell it to them in
those.
the ad, so they had to make the people do like dumb shit to like get the idea across to the person with the disability. This is what you want, kind of thing.
I mean, some of the products were also just kind of dumb.
It was also because they couldn't afford to produce small batches of them, so they had to sell them to the general populace as well instead of just the disabled people.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, they just needed Vince to try to sell their product. It would be fine. You're gonna love my nuts. It's fine. Slapshot reference for anyone who didn't immediately get that.
So it's good to know that time wasn't a major factor. What was something that was a major factor? Like we discussed Fog of War. I had to skid out a little bit from that, but was it just Fog of War that was just a major issue and everyone just kind of gave up on it because they realized this wasn't going to work?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't really work.
Just do list chicken. Like it's fine.
So the first map that we used had a bridge on it. There are no effing rules for how bridges function in the book. They don't exist in Starcraft TMG as far as we can tell. So I didn't really want to make a ruling on how the hell a bridge was going to work with models under it and all this other nonsense. So I said, screw it. Treat the bridge as though it were a window. You can shoot through it, but you can't walk through it. And people hated that. They did not like that one bit.
It did create problems too, because it was also the bridge was also directly on top of the objective marker in the middle of the board.
Oh yeah, I did that on purpose. I was like, no, you can't be on the bridge. You have to be on the ground in order to contest it.
This motherfucker.
But it also meant that if you were a melee-based army, they could just sit on the other side of it, and you couldn't really contest it because they could bubble you out of it.
Yeah.
And that was part of what happened to me in my round one against Roirin. Is like I didn't pay attention. This is entirely me, but I was gone the weekend before it, and I kind of like I had just come back from being out of town at a wedding and all this other stuff. So I kind of like walked into that game very unprepared, and then didn't play that scenario right, didn't play the bridge right, and it caused a lot of problems. Rules for a bridge are pretty simple. Like you just can't end partially underneath it. Like that's just the way it should be run. Is you just put size 0 terrain on the ground beneath it. Like if it's a bridge over a little bit of rocky water that you can't stand in, it works fine.
Yeah, I was considering letting size 1 units walk under it and all that, and I was like, or maybe size 1 and size 2, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, this is a headache that's above my pay grade. Treat it like a window, and we'll see how it goes. And
yeah,
it did not go great.
No, it was, but I mean, and ultimately that's what happens, right? Like it was in a tournament, and there weren't official rules for it, so nobody knew what to do with it, really. Like we kind of figured it out, but it wasn't ideal. I would like rules for bridges. We don't have them. That's okay. The game doesn't need to be in 3 dimensions, but it'd be cool if it was. Be a whole lot cooler if you did, man.
Yeah, I agree. And then that way I could use that map again. So going forward, I had to use maps that were a little less complicated. Just because I kind of burned everybody's, hey, this is bullshit map building fuse on that first map. But it was for science, so I was glad that I got a result. It might not have been a positive result, but I at least know going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that entire event was for science, realistically. Like, we were...
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was there. That's not true. I shouldn't say nobody. Most of the people, I think, that signed up for it weren't there to try to, be competitive.
I think there was 5 people who were looking to be competitive because someone was like, I'll give them a special rank for winning the first beta tournament. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The first TTS beta tournament. It was like, all right, cool. So, at least you weeded them out in round 1.
Person, and I wasn't even approaching that tournament competitively. It was that was a science tournament for me, too. So
yeah, this was all just let's see how this works and what are some lessons we can take away from this and things we can do better in the future. Realistically.
So no bridges.
Yeah, bridges is at the very top of the don't list.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I would be fine with bridges. I would just say that they're blocking lines. I would actually just let everything. They would be high enough. Everything could move under them. And you just couldn't end on the beneath the bridge.
Yeah.
Because I would just put a stream there or some rubble or something and be like, yep.
This is why the bridge is here.
So
yeah, you can't be in that because the rules already define that. And then there's no question. The rules are completely fine. I guess technically you can't be on elevation, but I don't know. It gets a little weird. The dead zone would still come into effect. I think it would all actually just work.
One of the things I do want to say is through the map making, because I made majority of the maps, not the bridge one. Can't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. That I did go back, I did ask people as games went on of what do they thought about the maps, and they're like, I got the comment, there's too much grass. I was like, okay, you know what, that's fair. And trimmed down the grass a lot. I kind of found between 6 and 8 pieces on the table was that sweet spot. And before each, when there was a new round, Jesty would be like, hey, I'm going to pick this map, and I'd have a quick look at it, and I would trim some of the grass out just to make it more easier for players as the event went on. And since then, I've gone back to all those maps and kind of trimmed them out and adjusted things that were not in the proper place. I know there was one of them where Typhoon was underneath a building on 2 of the objective zones, so I was like, okay, we got to move that. So a lot of this tournament really helped with map development and creation for community maps, not in the PDF. There'll be a link in the description below for people if they want to download those and play those on TTS. But just kind of made the maps better for the community as well.
Yeah, so a lot of good came from it. So thank you, Jesty, for running it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you
no
for
problem.
putting 22 people through a rat's maze and told them to get to the end for the cheese.
You know what? It wasn't that bad, honestly. I was expecting there to be a lot more pings in my DMs asking for rules questions and stuff. But compared to BattleTech events I normally run, it was fairly quiet. I only got a couple here and there.
Most of the people, you lucked out a bit that most of the people in that event specifically were pretty involved in the community members.
Yeah, I also made my own FAQ for the event.
Yep.
And I answered a lot of questions that people had, and even one of the designers confirmed some of the rulings before the event went live.
Yep.
So that
And then
helped
the
a lot.
official rules came out and didn't agree with a couple of the things that he said. But
Yeah.
as is tradition.
Adept tokens was the main one.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
But
he
that's
said
not-
you can't. You need line of sight, and now you don't need line of sight. So they're back to how they
Yeah.
originally played. It's like, okay, cool.
setting adepts was the biggest one. Setting tokens was, I guess, the biggest one, which I get. Like, I think the intention is that they don't work that way. Like, I think it's in a perfect world, this wouldn't work this way, but we're not in a perfect world. The rules kind of have to be written in some way, and we've kind of put ourselves in this place with rules writing where we sort of have to do it this way. That's kind of the feel I got out of it, is like the rules are written in a way where, yeah, this is slightly sub-ideal, but if we change it, then a lot of stuff breaks. The biggest one being, if placing the token needs line of sight, then like burrow ambush would be able to go 3 inches away from something as long as it's on the other side of a wall.
Yeah.
Because that implies that all of those things need line of sight, and that creates I don't know, what's the technical term? A clusterfuck?
A cascading clusterfuck. Yes.
So I get how it happened, and it's good to know that it wasn't like necessarily the intention, but there at some point you do have to be like, well, the rules are the rules.
Yeah, this is just how it works. Deal with it. Just like Marauders and Hydralisks not needing line of sight to the enemy unit to do concussive shells or lunge.
So that's so weird trying to figure that out, because like I went in, I read it, I'm like, okay, so it's targeting the friendly, so I only need to see my friendly who's being charged. And then it's like, go into the chats and they're like, no, you need to see the friendly and the enemy because it's targeting both and the enemy's receiving the debuff. I'm like, yeah, but the targeting is towards the friendly. And then I go digging. I spent like an hour digging through shit, and I find the beta FAQ buried in the rules part of the TTS form, and it says concussive shot requires enemy. And then I believe it was Alftier in the latest update. It was like, no, you don't. You only need to target the thing that you're targeting. What is your friendly? Like, is your friend? And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
So the biggest thing, the problem is, it comes back to the same thing, where if that is targeting all of the things listed in the ability, a lot of other stuff breaks. And you create the can of worms problem where it's like, okay, well, this is written to only measure to one thing. That's the thing that it's targeting. So you're done. And I'm hoping, and there's been like some commentary about it, but I'm hoping that we get a good FAQ that explains targeting. Like, there's been some talk of an FAQ, and I just hope it does a good job of highlighting and outlining how that mechanic specifically works.
Yeah,
that FAQ is going to have to do some heavy lifting because there's still a lot of targeting ambiguity that we need to get hammered out.
Yeah, but if they're like, it could be something like, when something references like measuring range to something else, and that something else is a unit, not a token or an entity, not some other type of entity, that is a target. And then in the future, they can write new rules that, like, they can write target on like new abilities once they've defined it, so that we don't end up like rehashing the same problem. But that's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. So right now we're in hope land that something good happens.
Yeah, the game's still not even out yet.
Right, the game is not officially out, and we have been promised, and like the tournament document isn't out yet, and we know that's coming.
Yeah, Jarek has also mentioned that they don't want to make a tournament document for like the first year, and not until there's more units and factions and stuff out.
I think that's smart.
Because right now there's no point. Yeah.
I'm expecting that we'll see a tournament document, round about Adepticon. Like that, I think we'll probably see it in like January or February next year because I'm expecting there to be a tournament at Adepticon, and
I hope so.
yeah, I mean, there will be one, right? But I'm expecting them to run it and want to like have that document out for it.
That'd be good. Okay. Questions about. So should we? Let's go now. Should we talk about each kind of like round, or like kind of like some big? Do you want to talk about like kind of some of the wins and losses in each round? Did you? We could also ask like, did you have a favorite as the organizer? Because whenever I organize stuff, I always had a favorite to win.
Oh, absolutely not. I hate all you players equally.
Oh, that's good. Whenever I did stuff, I'd always hope that my buddy Barry would win because he played Rhett, and if I was participating in the event, him and I would get paired into each other, like final round, and he'd hate me. So I was like, when I was participating, I hope he wins.
Honestly, I was just hoping that one Zerg player would make it to the top 5.
Okay,
that was my hope, which was a fairly low bar.
I believe that happened though, right? Didn't Klusek make it to top 5?
Yeah, it did. Klusek made it to top 5.
Okay. So
actually, technically 2 of them did. Klusek and Camcord both went 3-1 with a .4375 strength of schedule.
Okay.
Were there any like blowouts or anything like that as players went into each other, or anything like from the games you watched that were like interesting to see from different players?
There were a few blowouts. There was like a 15 to like 4 or something like that a couple of times I saw. Usually it was Protoss into Zerg or Protoss into Terran. Very few blowouts in the mirror matches, which I tried to minimize them at first, but with 11 Protoss players, it was kind of unavoidable.
It was technically not avoidable. Technically avoidable round 1.
Yeah, round 1 I could have avoided it, but it ended up with 3 mirror matches round 1, 5 mirror matches round 2, just kind of based on, Swiss. I didn't have a choice for some of them. And then the last 2 rounds, I really didn't have a choice because the Swiss dictated pretty much everything. There were 3 more in round 3 and 3 more in round 4. So round 2 was a bit of an outlier, but the mirror matches were relatively minimal.
Yeah, I had mirror matches round 1 and 2.
You also played Protoss, so...
Right, yeah, but I was certainly the faction that invited them. I definitely had a blowout round 2, but my opponent was a newer player. So...
There were surprisingly few newer players, I must say.
Yeah, and like... We talked over a lot of stuff, and it was a good learning experience. So that was a fun game.
It was like his 3rd game ever, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like he had picked it up, played a game on TTS, and then was like, "I'm going to join this tournament." And it's like,
why not?
I would have done it. So
guaranteed games, like perfect.
Yeah, there was 7 ZVZ mirror matches, which I was a little surprised about. Most of them came in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then there was 1 TVT mirror match because we only had, 4 Terran players. And then 6 PvP mirrors. I tried to keep it as minimal as possible.
So I'm looking.
It's kind of crazy there were more Zerg ones than Protoss ones.
Well, the Zerg ended up being at the extremes of the win loss and strength of schedule. There were some that were at the bottom and some that were at the top, and it was like, well, it's either we have a ZVZ or a PvP mirror. So I tried to break it up for the PvPs as much as I could.
So looking at the post you have, it looks like there were a handful of unplayed games in round 3 and 4. So how did you handle those as the organizer? Like, did you just give everybody a loss or tie them?
I just called them ties for. It was an unplayed tie, which essentially counts as a loss for both players as far as their strength of schedule goes.
Okay.
But there were actually 2 straight up legitimate ties. One in round 1 and one in round 3.
I think you got them on here.
Yeah, I have them in the actual.
Terran versus Protoss on both as well.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for effing up the rankings. I appreciate that.
So
couldn't have a clean Swiss.
Can I throw out that I hope when they do a tournament packet there is a way to resolve ties, like there is a tiebreaker, because ties always ruin like
Yes, they
carries
ruin the bracket.
forward.
Apex, are you talking about real world experience that we had last March?
No, I mean, I have hated ties for a long time in a tournament setting because it's just like you need some sort of, I don't care how you do it. It matters not to me how it is done. Just like it just makes everything so fucking awkward going forward.
Yeah, as in the official rules, you can tie. There is no officially stated tiebreaker. The problem I have with using points as a tiebreaker is that different missions score differently. So someone can get a low skilled opponent and then just kind of farm them and get a whole bunch of points. And then they have a really solid tiebreaker that they really didn't earn. You know, I mean,
so I look at tiebreaker like within the game itself. So like your score is tied, we go to like who killed the most points out of their opponent's army. That person gets the win then.
Well, see, I would argue whoever played the objective better would get the win over who just killed their opponent. You'd have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Right? Yeah.
Well, no. So you'd have like your score is your first. Like, okay, so you both ended up on 14 points, right?
Yeah, that's so all the missions count. Currently, all the missions count destroyed supply as a mission objective.
Okay, but like each of those destroyed supply units cost different amount of points.
Different amounts. So then
like
you total up how many points you removed, and that would basically be worth like that one.
Oh, you mean minerals of points?
Minerals of. That way, like within the game itself, you've got like, all right, this is our first tiebreaker, and that way you're resolving your tie right then.
So like War Machine did win-loss, VPs, army points destroyed, army points remaining. And there would be no ties because by the time you got to army points remaining, it was kind of like clear cut who was winning by that point. Usually never even got to that point. I had to use army points destroyed like I think once out of 8 years running War Machine events.
Yeah.
It
doesn't matter to me how you do it, but like
just I get it. Something needs to be there because having ties messes up so much stuff, and like you just have a winner.
Yeah, we need to pick something. I just don't know if minerals destroyed is the way to go because that means you're getting punished for playing the objective while your opponent is getting rewarded for just murdering you and ignoring the objective.
I would have minerals be the third. So I would do like scenario points, then supply destroyed, then minerals destroyed. And you'll never get past that, right? You'll never have the exact same amount of minerals destroyed.
Because like if out of your 14 points, you both score 10 of them in the mission, 4 of them between units killed. Okay, then it goes into like how much of those units were they worth you killed? Did you kill off like 4 units of like I guess cheap ass? Well, they're not cheap.
Okay, well,
4 units of expensive Zerglings, or did you kill off like non-upgraded like single supply Marines who are like 160?
Well, also, how do you count 2 roaches? Do you just divide the 170 by 3, and that's how many points there were?
There were no points because you didn't destroy the full unit.
Yeah, full unit.
Okay, so
you
full units only. Yeah.
Yep.
And so then that incentivizes picking off 0 supply units. So that's something that the players will play for. Yeah, but if they know that that's a tiebreaker.
But you also know the tiebreaker above it.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah, is the full supply destroyed. So if you get to 0 supply, and I'm trying to win the game, I'm probably not going to target you because if I get to third tiebreakers, that's when I want to kill you. But if I'm trying to win the game, I want to go kill something that's actually worth more supply, what's worth points to win the game.
Also, that's actually the reason why I like minerals destroyed as the third breaker, because a person with, let's say, like 20 Zerglings on the table that are all in units of 5 is probably ahead, right? Like you're probably in a pretty good spot if you're in that case, because those things will do a lot of damage still. Assuming like you're equal on supply destroyed with your opponent, because of just the nature of how things work. So
you aren't if you're playing Zerglings.
Well, we know that because they're Zerglings, but you get the idea.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean.
Like if you do win-loss, mission VPs, so like I guess your win-loss is based on your total VPs, and then you split it into like mission VPs, then supply VPs, and then you go to whole units destroyed mineral cost, you're probably not going to have a tie after that.
Right,
I don't think there's
you're never
any
gonna have a
way.
tie.
There might be like that 1 in a billion, because of course it's going to happen. But I think that's going to eliminate
At
almost
that point,
all
you
your
just roll
loss,
off.
all your
Like,
ties.
fuck it, roll off
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
The judge walks over and shoots you both, and just calls her a
Yeah.
day.
I play rock, paper, scissors with both of you.
You can keep putting bullet points there too. You can be like, okay, like
yeah.
units with at least one model, surviving units. Like how many activations on the table? Like whatever. You can keep going. But you won't realistically get past the third one. Like if I were gonna run a tournament, I would probably put those 3 in that order.
I just less important to me what they are, what the order of them is, just that like they are in a tournament.
They exist. Yes.
Because ties suck. Like
Yeah, they do.
They're fine in
it
games
throws
like
off
Magic.
everything else, and it throws off everything else for the rest of the event, especially if it's like a round 1 or 2 tie and a 4 or 5, like a 2-day event where you're going like 6 rounds.
Well, I mean, in a multi-day event, if you score it the way hockey does, it's not that bad, because a win is worth 2 points, a tie is worth 1 point, and a loss is worth 0, of course. So the tie is a reward for both players having a close game, which is I really like having close games. I think a tie should be rewarded. It means you're both equally skilled and you're both playing to the same capacity. You're like, that's a good game of StarCraft or whatever it is that you're playing. That's what the aim is.
But
So I've never been to a tournament where they've done like points based on like win, tie, loss, like soccer or hockey style. Football or hockey style for all the European listeners out here. In
Magic.
footy, it's 3 points for a win and 1 point for each team for a draw. But yeah, I've never been to an event that does anything like that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and usually it doesn't come up. Even in BattleTech, like battle value is so granular that someone's winning straight up. There's no way you're going to tie based on battle value destroyed.
yeah, I mean, but like Magic does 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss.
How do you draw in Magic?
One
Due
point.
to an impasse.
Oh,
they do,
that's right. They play best of 3 or something.
Yeah,
and then
1-1,
they,
and then
they have a round timer, so you got to get your 3 games
Yeah.
done within the round time. That's right. That's right. I remember now. I followed competitive Magic for a bit, but I never played it because I was like, I don't want to spend money.
I mean, that's valid.
That's right.
Magic do be hella expensive.
Yeah, you
It
need
is
a,
now.
you
Fucking
need
A.
a store to sponsor you. That's the only way you're getting through that.
Quit playing Magic 20 years ago. Never looked back. So glad I
He
did.
sold 3 Black Lotuses and got a house.
Funnily enough, one of my buddy's uncles did.
God damn it. Fuck. Why can't I be so grossly incandescent?
Right? No, he just played Magic from Alpha and just had a ton of cards.
Damn, why can't I be born earlier?
This is what we're playing StarCraft, and we're just going to have a ton of Alpha StarCraft models. That's what our
that
little gold
Zeratul,
mine is going to be.
That con
That
exclusive
promo
Zeratul.
Zeratul, hell yeah. That's why he's still in the box. I've had him for like 6 months.
Oh my god.
Definitely not because you're that far behind on the hobby table, right?
No, never. How dare you insinuate that I'm not making any hobby progress?
As I stare at this pile of purple Zerg models that have been sitting in the exact same spot since Adepticon.
Hey,
As that-
I'm just.
I paid
I paid excuse.
8 Marauders. We're doing good.
I have not done any hobby work since we got back from Adepticon.
I have a great excuse, guys. I don't have any models.
I've got my BattleTech Mad Cat I'm going to turn into a Goliath that I've like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me put it on my desk to paint it. It's been sitting there staring at me for 6 months.
My conquest lists are still packed in the same bags they were packed in for Adepticon.
He just never pulled them out.
I wheeled them into my office and they've just left there. They're just sitting there. When you and I conspired to ruin
So stupid. Fucking blaming us for all their issues. No, fuck you, Conquest.
Oh man,
god.
Look, you don't get a 4-way tie for first.
For second.
That awards points as though it were second. Yeah. That all 4 players agreed to, but none of whom were consulted on.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
man.
So going into round 4, we had 3 3-0 players because of the ties.
Oh, that was
It
some
didn't.
fun.
The ties didn't matter. Like,
No, it's just kind of somebody lost to someone with a tie that probably shouldn't have, and it threw a
Lost
monkey wrench.
Lost the pair down, basically.
Yeah.
It do be
And
like
then-
well,
that.
so if it hadn't been for ties, so the thing is, if it hadn't been for ties and a pair down lost, then it would have evened out. But we had more than 16 players, and we only had 4 rounds, so we
I
are
had
supposed to have 3 undefeateds in the final round.
Yeah, and I was gonna have a playoff round for anybody who wanted to, place top 5 or whatever.
Well, you
But
had
pair
to
down
get
lost
that,
in the final
you had to get
round,
that
so it
special,
worked out.
whatever it was, right?
Yeah, I didn't end up having to do that. Yeah, so I ended up with
Thankfully-
1 4-0 player and then like 6 or 7 3-1 players.
That's not bad. Okay, so who won this whole thing? Who are your top 3? Because I don't know who your top 3.
So Samu won first place, playing
Congratulations,
Protoss
Samu.
with his 5 zealot list that I think he used the majority of the time.
Okay, let's go find him, and we'll have a look. See
He
at the list.
didn't
There
in
it
the
is.
final round, right? I think that
No,
was
I
the only.
don't think he used it in the last round, but he did use it for the first like 2 or 3.
Yeah, but he played Zerg, Terran, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that list is good against those things. It's not very good against Protoss because Adepts shred it. And I think that was kind of his plan.
Yeah, that and none of the Zerg players ran Roach Heavy, which would have at least, had a chance in all those zealots.
That was the other reason I'm sure he brought it. He's like, oh, all these lists are terrible. Again, I have no tools to kill all my zealots. I guess I win.
Yeah, and then Alexia got second with a 3-1 with a .625 strength of schedule.
Let's go find Alexi.
you went
with
Terran.
Faction. With Terran, okay.
Yeah, Terran. And then in third place, Tyronin, also playing Protoss, had a .5000, so 0.5 strength of schedule at 3-1 as well.
Yeah, so he and Azimu did play in the final round. I feel like it's worth pointing out that he was a final table.
Yeah. So he ended up getting third, even though he was in the final. Yeah, like you said, final table. Usually you get bumped down a bit, but his strength of schedule was so high because he played a summon.
Yep. Yeah, in fairness, they both lost. They both had their only loss to the one undefeated. So
Yeah, and then the other 3-1 players were Camcord playing Zerg, Theodore playing Protoss, and Klusek playing Zerg as well.
I'm looking at Tyrone's list. He ran also 5 Adepts.
Yep.
yeah, I mean adepts are undercosted right now, especially
Adepts are a problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, part of their adepts are a problem because they're very good against lights, and nobody's playing roach spam, which is the only thing that's good against adepts.
What about Marauders?
And I don't think you should be. Marauders aren't good against adepts because they're too expensive and they don't kill adepts fast enough.
And the Adepts can just jump onto the backline on turn 2, no matter what, essentially.
Yeah. So if you're not too supply, or or roaches, or very good against, like, roaches are super super good into adepts. Adepts do nothing to them, like. So if you just put roaches into adepts, and like the adepts will lose, especially if the roaches have the spittle upgrade.
Yeah, the Hydrotic Bile.
Yeah, because then they're gonna put like 3 or 4 damage a turn that only gets 1 save into adepts, and it's significant. It's not everything, but it matters.
And then you go into the melee phase, and they're going to put another 2 or 3 maybe in the melee phase.
Yep. And the adepts, who will shred most things by having Pierce Light too, don't do anything to the roaches.
No, because they're like 4 attacks, and you're like, okay, the roaches.
The whole
fine.
unit, yes. If they are all alive, the whole unit totals 4 attacks, which is 2 hits, which is 0.66 damage to the roaches. So it's not ideal for the adepts. So,
Okay, I did 4 damage to your adepts. My roaches take 1.
right.
The queen is in the back healing the roaches.
Yeah. If you do 2, the queen heals up to 2, just in case.
Yeah, and like without anything invested into them, like the roaches are gonna do 2 in melee after hits and saves, and they're gonna do 6 hits, 3 surge. So they're gonna do 1.5 plus 2, like 4, like 3.5 there, so like 5. So I mean, they're killing almost 2 adepts a turn. Roaches pretty much destroy adepts.
The problem is locking them down because they're both 1 supply, and the adepts can just shade out of engagement, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, sure, but it's at the end of the turn. So, like, if you just charge them with the roaches,
Yeah, you can lock them down. Like the adepts will never willingly shade into your roaches.
right? And that's another trick you can do with the roaches. You can move like a roach on top of the token, displace it, place around it, so that if they try to shade in, they're going to be engaged with the roaches, and they don't want that.
Who moves the
So you can
token upon
prevent them from
displacement? Which player?
The
The player who moved it. So
Yeah.
like in this case, the owner of the roach would move it.
And
the active player, yeah.
And the model moves base to base the model that's pushing it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have displace, so fuck do I know or care? I'm not learning this.
So it's really good for like queens displacing, because a queen can move a creep token almost 4 inches, or actually slightly over 4 inches, just by ending on it.
Oh, because she
playing some creep tumor soccer.
Oh, so she lands it with her butt and then just moves it to her front. Okay.
Yep.
Because like when I did play a game, I think it was a home game that the battle report hasn't come out as time of recording, but I know my opponent shaded, and I realized that I could just run 4 Marauders around the shade token and a wall, and the adepts don't actually have a legal landing spot.
Well, they don't have to. They can choose to shade to it, and then they'll just be out of coherency.
Oh, really?
That's the problem.
Oh,
there's nothing stopping you from not being coherent unless you're deploying, and they had to add that rule in for deployment specifically.
Yeah,
because of the game I played.
And because that rule's in for deployment specifically, then obviously it has to work for adepts, which sucks because it really shouldn't, and I don't think that's intended. But it's the problem when you add in rules for a specific use case that they needed to do because it was a problem. You now, like, everything else that works similarly that doesn't have the restriction automatically works.
So coherency is really weird in StarCraft because it really only changes whether or not you can score zones.
Yep.
Correct. So it does nothing. You still make all your attacks. You still make all your saves. Yep. It's very it probably should do more.
I wholeheartedly agree. If you're not coherent, like any unit that's not in coherency doesn't get to attack.
Yeah.
Or
I thought it was really clever. I'm like, oh, he moved his shade really aggressively forward. He's going to teleport onto the zone. He's going to block me. I'm like, okay, in the assault phase, because you're not going to, nothing's going to be shot. I'm just going to run my Marauders onto this token, push it into a wall, surround it, block off any landing spots within 3 of the shade tokens so he can't actually just teleport there. No, he just bounces outside of it, and that's it. He
goes base to base to your Marauders. Yep.
Wow, okay. Yep. I thought I was being really clever. It would have been a smart play, because next turn...
I mean, it should be.
Yeah, that should. So, as if we're assuming the intention of the coherency system is to keep you from getting your models out of coherency, and if you are out of coherency, you will be punished to an extent, then it's failing right now. It's just not doing its intended purpose.
You need to have something that says you can never voluntarily leave coherency. So it's only when you are forced to leave coherency.
Mm-hmm.
And then shading would be you can't do it because you're voluntarily placing yourself out of coherency. A charge is different. You declare a charge and then there's randomness involved. So you're trying to be coherent, but you might not be able to.
Because you might just need to touch one guy with like 18 Zerglings and then get funneled they get funneled in, and then they like stick out the ass because you can't push over top of over the other side of that unit because there's just another unit you couldn't legally charge over there.
Yeah, the coherency, exceptions are made, I think, specifically for Zerglings. And they're causing a lot of problems because there's units that aren't Zerglings that are kind of abusing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in that Shade example, like turn 2 movement phase, I just ran the Marauders backwards to be by my, like the rest of my army not like out of position or anything, but it prevented my opponent from jumping forward super far to get into my grill and allowed me to like set up and like reduce them on tempo. And then later in the game, he dropped a Shade right in the middle of everybody and teleported one Adept in because he just had one Adept still alive. I'm dead. So, I don't know. I'm not too happy with coherency, and I agree with you guys. Like it should do more, like as you've said, not let people break the rules and kind of like how things like feel how they work. Like I get it, you gotta play by the rules, but it's like, okay, why is this interaction a thing? Because like surrounding the Shade token to block out things from landing kind of seems like a good play, but also I had to then move super aggressively forward to block it out, what could have left me vulnerable to something else.
Yep. Like
play and counterplay. I know I preach that a bunch, but it's kind of like it's a good feeling to have and do in a game. So like you're not just locked out.
Yeah, now to be fair, like that's not a great place for those adepts to be. So it's still relevant, but it is a problem that they absolutely shouldn't be. Like it's pretty obvious the intention is to stop that from occurring, and then
it doesn't.
Yeah, because like in my head, when I was talking to my local, I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you teleport there, the ones that can't be placed just die. What might just be like carryover from another game. It's fine, it happens.
It's technically in this game, but it doesn't really come up.
Okay. Is it because they just don't have a legal landing spot, or what?
As far as I can tell, unless the entire line of sight of the leading model is filled with units, you're never going to lose a model to being out of coherency. Yep. Because all you have to do is draw a line of sight to another model, and then you're coherent.
Yeah, you just have to draw. It has to be a coherency link line of sight too, which goes around corners and stuff. So it's very, very hard to create the situation in which models are removed.
Yeah, as long as one model is in line of sight of the leading model, all the other ones can be out of line of sight and somewhere.
Yeah, they just have to chain together.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can get some nonsense with Zerglings getting more melees in and all kinds of stuff where you're out of coherency. I mean, if you're fighting on an objective, it could be important, but if you're not, it doesn't matter.
And you ignore the model you're engaged with for line of, or the unit for line of sight. So yeah, like you jump, either side. You can go either side of a unit you charged, theoretically.
Yeah, you can leapfrog a unit. So in theory, you could charge one Marauder with the bunch that's holding a choke point with Zerglings, place them on the backside of the Marauder, and then next turn disengage from that one Marauder and run off. Like you literally just ran through the Marauder.
Yeah, and coherency doesn't care about line of sight. It cares about the ability to move there. And the out of coherency cares about line of sight. It's very weird. Like you don't need to be able to see the spot you can go to as long as you can walk there.
Yeah,
because raptors have coherency over a wall because they can walk there.
Yep.
Or you ignore any terrain you can move through. So you always ignore size 1 terrain, right? Because everything can move through size 1 terrain.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know something I found out? Size 1 terrain blocks line of sight to the center of objective markers.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're size 0.
Yeah, and I was like, God damn it. And I had to delete a beautiful fount in the middle of one of my maps to accommodate.
I mean,
they also block line of sight to burrowed units and Zerglings and sentries.
But it only does that for size 1 unit. Size 2 units could still see over it just fine.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is I was making a map and I put a fountain in the middle, on the middle objective zone. It's like, you touch the edges is fine. There's a piece of size 1 terrain, so like you can't just be in the middle of this thing, but you can still touch like the edges outline of it, and it's fine. And it's like, no, you actually can't score that thing at all. I'm like, God damn it.
I mean, anything size 2 can score it.
Turn it into a donut.
The one was on top, like of the direct center of the middle zone.
Yeah,
so.
but a marker can't take direct cover because it's not a unit. So,
Well,
anything size 2 or higher or taller can see it.
That's actually really funny.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, turn it into a donut and you're
But
good.
then all the Zerglings are once again getting fucked over.
Yep, it does. It does screw over Zerglings and Sentries and stuff like that. So it's still not good. Like, I still wouldn't recommend using it.
No.
But yeah, it is one of those weird, like, if you put a size 1 disc on top of something, it's. I mean, it can't be there, I think, because markers are tokens, I want to say. Aren't they?
No, markers are markers.
Markers are markers, yeah. So they're they're indicators. That's what they are. So yeah, you could put something on top of it, but yeah, it still wouldn't stop it from size 2 things, because you can't take direct cover if you're not a unit.
Also, getting direct cover is almost impossible. It's especially with a size 1 thing. Like the sentries are massive. How are you going to hide behind a rock? You're as big as a rock. And Zerglings, there's 18 of you little bastards. There's no way you're hiding behind a rock with 18 Zerglings.
I just remember Ben and I playing a game, and I was trying to like thread the needle to not get shot by Hydras, and it was just basically impossible. The Hydras just like put a hole in me, and I'm like, I fucking hate this.
Basically, all you can really do is once you've started getting whittled down, you can sometimes use it to make it so that you don't lose all your guys.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can hide. Yeah, you can hide like 3 or 4 of them, and then be like, and if you have like 5 or 6, it might be like, okay, well, it's not worth killing 2 Zerglings. So it sort of does that, but it's pretty rough.
Incredibly. I feel bad for the Zerglings.
To be fair, like they can charge over it, so it's not that,
Well, Raptors can. Regular Zerglings can't.
They can
gotta
charge over
go
size
around.
1.
Oh yeah, size 1. Yeah, they can jump over.
I'm just thinking about walls in
So
general.
it's yeah. Well, I mean, size 2 walls usually are longer, so you can hide, 6 or 7 models usually, somewhat reasonably.
I just remember Ben killing 12 Zerglings I go around with Hydra shooting. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I mean, Zerglings in the middle of, like, out in the open, don't like 2 damage shots.
No, they were engaged. It didn't even matter. They still died.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the unit that charged me, and just rolled very badly.
I thought I was gonna kill Hydras. And it was just like, nope, get fucked. And I'm like, wow, this is happening.
Well, speaking of Zerglings dying, I do have some win-loss stats or percentages for the different races.
Perfect. Let's talk about that.
Let's do that.
So Protoss versus Terran, 72.73% Protoss win versus Terran 27.27%, 8-3.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Close, yeah, right. That's where we want it. That's where we want the ratio.
Yeah.
Protoss versus Zerg was slightly better for the Zerg, actually, 7-4. 63% in Protoss favor versus 36% for Zerg.
Bit better. Nice.
And then Terran versus Zerg was a 66% win for the Terrans over 33 for Zerg. It was only 3 games played and it went 2-1.
And then you had 14 mirror matches that kind of just even each other out, right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're mirror matches. They don't count for, faction stats.
Right.
So
clearly can't.
So what does this data tell us about anything? Is there any correlation, causation stuff going on? Or are we just looking at numbers? Say.
What I can gather from this and looking at the earlier rounds, a lot of those ZVZs ended up propping those Zerg players up into the upper echelons. So the only reason that there's 2 Zerg players up in the top, 6 is probably because they played Zerg for their first 2 rounds, more than likely.
Okay.
And if they played Protoss, they probably would have had an even worse showing If there were less Zerg versus Zerg mirror matches, their win ratio probably would have been even lower.
So Zerg is not doing so well. Not too hot.
No. And I think the only, non-ZVZ wins came from Klusik and Camcord. I could be wrong, but I think they're the ones who bumped those numbers up.
Well, congratulations to those two gentlemen.
Matherin won at least one.
Yeah, he did win one. But yeah. I think it was round 3 or 4 at that point.
Round 4, he and I just didn't play because we were out of contention.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, he's also playing Zerg into Protoss, so.
And as we've seen, it's gonna suck.
He only lost. To be fair, he only lost to Asamu by 1 point.
Yeah, that was a very close game, I must say. He is arguably one of the better Zerg players that are out there right now. He just had some really, really tough matchups. I mean, Asamu being case in point, he ended up winning the whole thing with his 5 Zealot list.
Yep.
So Protoss strong. So Terran didn't really have a showing because I think there was only 3 or 4 players from Terran.
Yeah, there were 4 Terran players, and there were more Terran games that didn't get played, or 2 TVPs that didn't get played. So they missed a good portion of their games. So there was only 1 TVT mirror match. So
okay, I think that happened in the last round, if I recall, or maybe the third.
It did, because I didn't really have much choice at that point.
So Protoss is strong. There's not a ton of Terran players. Everyone's just playing the no mouth aliens. So Protoss is the most popular faction and it's kind of the strongest, and it's just kind of doing like Adepts or Zealot spam is kind of their go-to lists.
Yeah, with a stalker or 2 sprinkled in to deal with armor.
Okay.
Yeah, there's usually a 2-man stalker that hides, but not always. Asamu didn't run one in the 5 list.
Yeah.
He ran 0 armored units because he was just like, well, people are going to bring things that surge armor, and I'm going to not have any of that.
Also, like right now in Wave 1, a lot of the things that you're fighting is just light armored base, so you kind of want light surge anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, armor surge is not in a healthy place in the meta.
I'm hoping that it changes as more things come out.
Yeah, I mean,
we know Siege Tank and Immortal, like those are going to be armored. Was Ravager is also in Wave 2?
Yeah,
Ravager.
It might not be armored. It might not be. If they follow the game, of StarCraft, when you upgrade a Roach to a Ravager, it loses the armor tag. So if they do it properly and follow it's a buff to the unit actually.
Oh, that's
because
good.
It no longer takes bonus damage from stalkers and stuff, and siege tanks and all that. So,
but it would have to be light then, but based on the way the minis game is written.
No, it could just be neither, like the hero units are, which is a unique defensive bonus they could give it if they want to be true to the way it worked in the video game. But
yeah,
more than likely they're probably just going to leave it armored. If I had to take a guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I would like that to stay unique to the heroes. So
yeah, it also makes like heroes harder to kill, and they shouldn't just like immediately melt to something.
Yeah, because you can't surge them, which is nice.
Doesn't prevent characters from dying, but
surge is such an interesting rule. It's not a lot of damage mathematically, but it does add up because it doesn't take a lot of. The units are pretty well balanced mathematically in this game. It does not take a lot to tip it one way or the other.
I mean, one high roll on a surge die can just delete a unit outright.
Yep. Yeah, like when I played, I was playing a Terran game. I don't remember who it was against. But my Goliath just got one shot by like a 2-man Hydra because they just hit with 5. They hit and they just hit with 5 and surged 4, and I failed my 1 armor save. Like,
yep.
It's like, oh, cool, 50-50. I just get 100%ed.
Yep, and they can do that to stalkers too, just as easily.
Yep.
It does have. It's like Jimmy Ray with his freaking elephant gun. Like, I'm like, oh, time to go queen hunting. See if I just kill a queen, and sometimes you just do it. You're like, oh, there we go. Dead.
Yeah, you did it to me in one of our games. I was like, oh, okay, well that queen's gone. Never mind.
Hope you enjoyed.
No
yourself.
rebuttal.
No rebuttal. Yeah, she did. Man, I love
That's why it hurts to not have evade. That's why Protoss have the power field, is to stop that from happening.
Oh, dodge too. Dodge too.
That's right.
It's so bad.
Only recently did I learn what dodge actually did. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It just turns like surge or crit 1 into just regular armor saves. I'm like, all right.
To be fair, dodge 2 would be decent on roaches because they got the 3-up, but
yeah, that is actually pretty good.
It's good on things with low save numbers. Like,
yeah, marauders with veterans would be great too on an objective.
What's in
Zerg will see it on a card at some point.
I wish. We don't have dodge. We don't have pinpoint. We don't have any of the good stuff. We don't have any sidearms.
No crit either, I don't think, or whatever it is.
Kerrigan's, we have.
Kerrigan's good at base, but we don't have it anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't think there are any crit upgrades.
It's interesting, though, because, Wave 2 is going to come out. We talk about the models, but there'll be cards, too.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
We'll end up with what? No, there's no new characters, so Wave 3.
Zeratul should be coming out. Yeah.
Right, so you'll have a new Zeratul faction. You'll have at least a card for each of the new models, I assume. Or whatever.
Yeah, they said each one would be coming with the card.
Yeah.
So potential updates there to make it a little more broad. I mean, the game right now is just very, low model availability, so it's a pretty narrow game at the moment.
Well, you're really just doing like if you want to transfer current Starcraft TMG to Starcraft 2 itself, you're just doing tier 1 all-ins to each other. It's really kind of what you're playing, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like
who can
tier 1 all-in each other better is kind of like what we're doing to each other. So as more things come out, I imagine these lists and how things are going to interact is going to evolve greatly because there's a lot of tech and abilities off of the stuff that's even on like their chart for like what's the next wave after that? It's the Wizard wave. So you got like High Templar, Defiler, and Raven. Like that's going to be nutty.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see
true flying unit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how those mechanics end up like working.
So
Because cards, especially for Protoss, cards are always at a premium, and I have to assume all those abilities are going to cost cards, right?
yeah, because they kind of have their magic system built in already with the card mechanic. What?
I wonder if you'll see any sort of way to reduce costs, like depending on what you're doing. Kind of like the way the Queen can reduce cost if she's surrounded by enough models.
Or they add a card that's like more academies for the other factions. That's like specific to the Wizards or something. That might be a way to do it. So it's like it basically like you get a free CP and then like you can flip the card itself, so you kind of get 2-1.
Yeah. Also, I think all those
academy,
that stuff will probably all be supports, right? Because those are all supporty units.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to add any other unit types. I think we're stuck with core, elite, support, and hero, just in perpetuity.
And air.
Is air going to be its own type?
Oh, air. Yeah, and air. Sorry, I forgot about air.
Air is
we don't have any.
Type. There's just nothing.
Yeah, they don't exist yet.
Will the Raven be air? Could be the first air.
Yeah, the Raven will be flying for sure. It might be a support unit, though.
Isn't Jimmy's stupid drone flying?
It is.
Yeah, but it's not a real unit. It's a summon
building.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see what they end up doing. But yeah, Raven. Yeah, I could see Raven being an air slot.
Yeah, it might come with a science facility building or something. It gives you an air.
Or they just have a science facility. It's like the same size as the Raven, or maybe more. I don't know.
Because if I remember correctly from the print and play / physical cards, for those of you that are cool, I think both Terran cards actually have an air slot on them.
I think it was only Raiders did, or did TFA do it?
No, it's the
TFA
generic
definitely
ones.
does. All the generic ones do, but I think Raiders also does.
Oh.
Because if I'm remembering correctly, I remember being like, oh, the things that summoned, like, I thought it was interesting because it was kind of costing you a supply slot to be able to summon a pylon or a worm, because they didn't have the air supply.
Yeah, you're losing out on air for the building.
Yep. I think I don't know. I think I'm remembering things correctly, but
I have it downstairs in my basement. I could go have a look see, but I'm not gonna get up and like just go and have a look. But
I mean, they're literally right behind me. I suppose I can
it doesn't show on
I don't have.
on the army builder.
I guess
No,
I don't
it doesn't show on
have.
No.
Hold on. I do. Have
you could pull up the print and plays.
It's so much work. I don't want to do that.
I know.
I mean, I have my Terran card set like right here. I think it's on
Wait a
it.
minute, you have a Terran? I thought you
Okay.
gave me the Terran card set.
No, because I have my Terran stuff.
You got Terran? When did you get Terran?
'Cause I have a
They were
two-player starter.
deceived. There was another starter.
Raiders has 3 core, 1 hero, 1 support, 1 air.
Oh, there
There you go.
Did you get Terran for your wife? Was that the thing? Forget.
Yeah, if she was
there
gonna
we go.
possibly try to learn how to play, I'd then just have Terran. I haven't even assembled them. They're in the box.
I want to pay my man. All right.
So yeah, so Worm and Pylon do kind of cost a slot. They just don't right now, and I think that will make a difference in the future because they are noticeably better than Daylam and Zerg Swarm, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. And units like the Goliath and the Queen have a weapon that just doesn't get used right now.
Yep. So I'm very looking forward to the Airwave.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the blast templates and the airwave because then the game will have all of the mechanics that it's supposed to, and we can see what it looks like with everything thrown in.
Yeah, realistically, I think by Adepticon next year, we'll have enough sub factions that will really feel. I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to make it. I'm planning on going right now, but life is life. Because I feel like the game's just going to be it's going to feel very complete at that point. And obviously, you'll always be excited for more stuff, but you won't be like, I feel like something's missing. And I do currently feel like things are missing. Partially because I know that there are air slots, but
Yeah,
Also-
I've been predicting that Zerglings are going to go the way of the dodo once blast templates start showing up.
They die. They just get eaten by like a 9-mana Marines right now, and it's just like, oh, let's just add some freaking siege tanks to that. Oh, those poor things. I can't wait for Psystorm to just burn everything to death. I'll be like, fucking Christ. I'm so bad at dodging Psystorms in the video game. I really don't want to dodge them in this game either. Might be easier actually because I don't have the micro.
Sidestorm. I'm bad against Sidestorm. I'm bad at using it and playing against it. I'm bad at the micro on it from both sides. I just hate it. I love it because it's cool, but I hate it because my gameplay makes me hate it.
Maybe I'm just bad at the game. I do love how Blizzard
Maybe I just hate
added
myself.
the tickle laser to High Templar in the video game because they were like, the Bronze League players keep A-moving their High Templar into the enemy army and dying. We need to stop that.
Yep. The water balloon. Yep.
Yeah, it was doing more 1 damage. It wasn't doing anything. But I was like, well, he's got Psystorm.
Psystorm is where it's at.
So they're probably going to have a tickle laser like the Sentry has a tickle laser.
Hey, feedback is good too.
Oh, yeah?
Just
Oh,
blow
that's right.
shit up. Yeah.
You just blow
Oh,
anything
you
with
got
energy.
an infester? Nope, your infester dead, buddy. Or it's usually chicken between a High Templar and a Ghost, whichever one can shoot first. You get sniped or get feedbacked.
Yeah, so I guess we should, for the people who want to skip to this part of the podcast, big takeaways from the tournament. Fog of War didn't really work. Protoss, a little OP. And we need rules for bridges.
And tiebreakers. We also need tiebreakers.
Yeah, tiebreakers would be good. It's really, what's funny to me is I did not expect there to be any ties.
Me neither.
I thought maybe one, but
if
in my
ties are possible, there's always ties.
I know
That is my experience of this. If a tie is possible, somehow 2 people are going to conspire to have a draw, and it's going to be super awkward.
Yeah, I should have known better because I've played Matherin and gotten a tie against him before, and other people. I've gotten multiple ties in my, playing games, And I just wasn't expecting them to show up in a tournament setting.
I have not had any ties in StarCraft, but that doesn't mean I couldn't have them.
And Max and I very nearly had a tie in that game we played in person. We were literally like a die roll from a tie.
And what is it? I needed to do my
I want to say like
a different order, and I could have probably won that. Yeah.
Well, I think either that or we just came back to a tie. I don't really remember. It was super close to being like I killed one model to have it not be a tie. I think
Hydras and Kerrigan were just destroying me, and I'm like, run away! Hide in the corner! Yeah. Stop!
Well, and then Kerrigan was on 1 health, so she was also hiding in a corner.
Yeah, well, I got her down eventually, but it was just, oh my god, please die, lady. Please. That was before I learned the glory of decked out Marines, decked out 9-man with AG-12 slugs and rocket launcher.
Yes.
Once I discovered that, it was like, oh, I can kill stuff now. Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, I do think the rocket launcher and AGG are just so high value.
10 points for the AGG is nonsense.
Another 40 for a rocket launcher, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it just turns
40
out
seems about right.
It just turns out that the rocket launcher is so good, or that the AGG is so good because there are so many effects that, and you can just shoot at a different target. Like it's just very helpful to be able to like plink it off on something that's alive on a wound or two here or there.
You know what? The rocket launcher and AGG-12 combo, like those 6 dice have been great just to like kill the one model you're engaged with and then can turn all the C14s to your real target, or C14 off your real target that you're engaged with or whatever, and then like throw that 6 dice onto something else to like put the damage in.
Yep.
It's been phenomenal, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, we're taking this. Like I would do AGG-12, rockets, AGG-12, then slugs. Probably in that order if I had points. Like slugs are probably the first thing I'd give up before the AGG-12 and the rocket launcher. But I do want slugs.
Yeah, and it also gets rid of like, oh, the first attack. Okay, I plink you with my AGG. Now you don't have Carapace on your Hydras anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, or shield on the on the Praetorians. They hate AGGs.
Oh, it's right, that tough 2 thing. Yeah.
Yep, because it's the first attack.
Is Arcanus's Hierarch stand for the entire
No, it's all attacks.
It's the whole activation.
Oh god. Still fuck that.
Hey, but at least you have 6 more dice into them.
Everyone must shoot me now. It's like, go away, Artanus. Because he's gonna stand 18 away, and then he's gonna redirect the range 12 C14.
Yeah. And you can't shoot him with the C14s. Oh that's
god. I think you shoot C14s because he can't legally be a target for them at that point. You shoot first with those. You're just like, fuck it. You're gonna redirect. Well, here. Get my C14s off. So annoying. It's been like an hour 40. You guys, is there anything else we want to say, or we want to wrap it up there?
No, thanks everybody for participating. Once we get wave 2, I'll try and run another one.
Hopefully with no bridge, as we've learned.
No bridge.
Not doing it again.
Apex, Competent Ben, any closing remarks?
I don't think so. I think we're kind of just waiting on final, like, actual release rules and the next wave of releases, yeah?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm just waiting for the
pretty
next
much.
Cool. All right, well, thank you everyone for listening. Like and subscribe. Join the BonkTable Discord. Subscribe to Ben and I's channels. And join the TTS Discord. Hopefully there'll be another tournament from the next wave comes out. People will be excited for that. No bridges, and this was a great thing to learn just kind of how the systems work, and hopefully everyone keeps playing. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Good night, everybody.